Okay, so we're gonna be doing the end cap today. For this test, the truck must be on, so make sure it's in neutral. The truck must be on. Alright, so we're gonna start off with the door area. So firstly, we got our mirrors. Our mirrors, they should be properly mounted, good working condition, no vent, brake stripes, or illegal wheels. No more than 10 inches away from the cab, no illegal stickers, fully adjustable to the driver's view. We then have our windows. These are our window switches. So with these switches here, they go up and down. Okay, so our window properly mounted, good working condition, goes up and down, no cracks, no illegal stickers. Then we have our door. Our door. Properly mounted, good working condition, opens and closes properly. We then have our seatbelt. So our seatbelt, properly mounted, good working condition, no cuts, no frays, the latch locks and unlocks properly. And we have our seat, lastly, fully adjustable, both up and down and forward and backward. So the seat, there's a handle here. Go up and down. Now we go with the windshield area. So we got our windshield. There's our windshield. To be properly mounted, good working condition, no cracks or illegal stickers, rubber seal is present and in good condition. We then have our wipers. Properly mounted, working condition, no bends, brakes, tracks, or illegal wheels, missing no bolts. We then have our wiper blades, which is the rubber seal on the wipers. Properly mounted, working condition, no cuts or fries. Then we have our dashboard area. For the dashboard, we have our oil gauge. We have our oil gauge. Not cracked, not broken, needle not sticking, range between 25 to 75. We then have our temperature gauge. Not cracked, not broken, needle not sticking, range between 175 to 195. We then have our air pressure gauges. Not cracked, not broken, needle not sticking, range between 100 to 120 psi. And then lastly, we have our voltmeter. It's not present, but it should be here. It should be reading 13.5 to 14 and charging. Not cracked, not broken, needle not sticking. We then have our steering wheel area. So this is our steering wheel. Should be properly mounted, good working condition, no bends, brakes, cracks, or illegal welds. On a 20-inch wheel, no more than 2 inches of play. Then we have our left and right turn signal, so it should be working properly. So that's our right, and we do our left. We then have our four-way flasher, which is an emergency light. So it's our four-way flasher is right here. It's a button right behind the steering wheel. Our button here, it's working properly. Now we do our high and low beam. So our high beam, you flick the switch up, and as if it was a car. So you just like put the handle up. For the low beams, it's just the switch up. Now we have our city and highway horn. So our city horn is this one, and our highway horn is this one. Now we go to the pedal area. So we have the accelerator, the service brake, and the clutch. So accelerator, service brake, and clutch. This should all be properly mounted, working condition, no bends, brakes, cracks, or illegal welds. Free of all debris of anything that can roll under the pedals and cause a hazard. We then have the clutch. So no more than 1 inch of play. Alright, now we go with the dashboard area number 2. So we got the wipers. To turn on the wipers, you turn here. To activate the water, you touch the button here. And that will put water on the windshield, as you guys can see. Okay. Once that's done, we got our parking brake valves. These are parking brake valves. Red is for trailer, yellow is for tractor, properly mounted, working condition, not cracked, not leaking, not making any funny sounds. And we have our heater and defroster. Turn on, put hand in front of where the air comes out. Stay working properly. Alright, for heater and defroster, the settings are these. This must be pointing at the hot, and this should be on this section, and then you just turn it on. You put your hand over here, make sure it's working properly. Now we go with the gear shift area. The gear shift, this is our gear shift. It should be properly mounted in good working condition, no bends, brakes, cracks, no illegal welds. Then we have a boot. So this is our boot. properly mounted, working condition, no holes, no rips, no cuts, keeping all toxic fumes out of the cab. Okay, that's it. Now we go to the safety area. We have our 3 reflective triangles. So these are our 3 reflective triangles. They're in this box underneath the seat. All should be present, properly secured, so they cannot move around in the cab. We then have our ABC fire extinguisher. It's right here, fully charged, up to date with a safety pin, secured so that it cannot move around in the cab. Lastly, we have our automatic fuse box. This truck has an automatic fuse box, so I am not required to carry any extra fuses. And that's it for the end cab.